Episode number 246. The poor man was very uncomfortable, for the children had bereft him of his wife. Home was merely nursery, and the perpetual hushing made him feel like a brutal intruder whenever he entered the sacred precincts of Babylon. He bore it very patiently for 6 months, and when no signs of amendment appeared, he did what other paternal exiles do, tried to get a little comfort elsewhere. Scott had married, and gone to housekeeping not far off, and John fell into the way of running over for an hour or two of an evening, when his own parlor was empty, and his own wife singing lullabies that seemed to have no end. Mrs. Scott was a lively, pretty girl, with nothing to do but be agreeable, and she performed her mission most successfully. The parlor was always bright and attractive, the chessboard ready, the piano in tune, plenty of gay gossip, and a nice little supper set forth in tempting style. John would have preferred his own fireside if it had not been so lonely, but as it was he gratefully took the next best thing, and enjoyed his neighbor's society. Meg rather approved of the new arrangement at first, and found it a relief to know that John was having a good time, instead of dozing in the parlor, or tramping about the house, and waking the children. But by and by, when the teething worry was over, and the idols went to sleep at proper hours, leaving Mama time to rest, she began to miss John, and find her work basket dull company, when he was not sitting opposite in his old dressing gown, comfortably scorching his slippers on the fender. She would not ask him to stay at home, but felt injured because he did not know that she wanted him without being told, entirely forgetting the many evenings he had waited for her in vain. She was nervous, and worn out with watching, and worry, and in that unreasonable frame of mind, which the best of mothers occasionally experience when domestic cares oppress them. Want of exercise robs them of cheerfulness, and too much devotion to that idol of American women, the teapot, makes them feel as if they were all nerve, and no muscle. Yes, she would say, looking in the glass, I'm getting old, and ugly. John doesn't find me interesting any longer, so he leaves his faded wife, and goes to see his pretty neighbor, who has no encumbrances. Well, the babies love me, they don't care if I'm thin and pale and haven't time to crimp my hair, they're my comfort, and someday John will see what I've gladly sacrificed for them, won't he, my precious? To which pathetic appeal Daisy would answer with a coo, or Demi with a crow, and Meg would put by her lamentations from maternal revel, which soothed her solitude for the time being. But the pain increased as politics absorbed John, who was always running over to discuss interesting points with Scott, quite unconscious that Meg missed him. Not a word did she say, however, till her mother found her in tears one day, and insisted on knowing what the matter was, for Meg's drooping spirits had not escaped her observation. I wouldn't tell anyone except you, Mother, but I really do need advice, for if John goes on much longer I might as well be widowed, replied Mrs. Brooke, drying her tears on Daisy's bib with an injured air.